Hello, my friends. If you are asking yourself, Gabby, why are we in a bathtub? Is there going to be echo this entire episode? Do I have fat tits? Do you have fat tits? When will you get fat wigs? Fat wig? Tits. Tits. Boobs. Anyway, hi guys, this is the Messy Girl Hotline where I crash out on the internet and insufferable on every platform. But you keep coming back because you want to eat out of mommy's hand. If it ain't sound like that, what you doing? Go watch some leather porn. Go watch some scissoring. Go watch some scissoring. I really hope that there isn't an echo this entire episode, but I feel like there is. And this is why I'm talking relatively softer today. Well, today might actually just be a more emotional vlog. Anyway, yesterday I celebrated my 1 year anniversary. Who would have thought? And I said to myself, I want to keep my relationship relatively private on the internet just because he doesn't really have socials. It's not really his thing. But I don't know how to explain it. It's not the fact that it's private. There's more the fact of like, I don't have anything to say. It is so healthy to the point where we will do those like 10 questions that will rile up your boyfriend, that will start an argument, and you will get a new handbag. Yes, queen, slay pussy mama, BuzzFeed at reddit.com. And we're doing them and it's like, I could answer all of these for you. Like one of the questions was like, if your ex called you and she was crying, would you pick up? And it's like, number one, stupid. How do you know that they're crying? How do you know? No, two, I would be like, yes, pick up. If I'm in the room, pick up. Because it's been so long. Why would those people be calling you? Even if they're trying to get back into your life, the way that you respond is the way that you respond. It's not their fault for still having feelings for you. Of course they're gonna have feelings for you. If I broke up with you, I would still have feelings for you because I know you in and out as a person and I know that you are so amazing that I want to be with you. So of course I'm gonna keep trying. I would be that raging bitch that your girlfriend's like, oh my god, block her. No, I said block her. Block her. That would be me. On the other end though, because I don't give a fuck. It's like if they were calling, like it was like, here are the instances. If they're calling and you answer, if I'm in the room, answer, duh. Two, because you never know, it could be something important. Two, if they're calling and they're crying and they're like, my mum's just passed away, I don't know who to talk to, I don't know what to say. Number one, why are you calling my boyfriend? He's the most shut down person ever. You could not get him. Like, the fun that I have out of our relationship is not annoying him because there's nothing to annoy him by. I literally said to him yesterday, I was like, you're such a in the corner type person, like scared to talk to people type person. Also, if you hear sheep in the background, they're currently injecting them and I'm at the farm. So enjoy the backing track. I really do apologize, guys. Like the type of threats I would give Will is I would fart really, really loudly, like a man's fart, in a closed room with a bunch of like intimate people and just look at you and make everyone think that you did it. Or I would start abusing you in public so then everyone kept looking at you, but it wouldn't be enough abuse that someone would have to drag me off you, but it would be enough that everyone would be staring, and then I would force you to sit down in a situation and just keep making sure those people are staring at you. It would just make him feel so uncomfortable, and that's the threats I give him, not like, I won't give you no sex. Like, no. That doesn't work on him. He's just like, okay, I get to play Bubble. He's like, okay, I get to play Solitaire now. So yeah, like that's what I mean. I am the drama in our relationship. I literally 24 hours ago, I was at the beach at Whitby and it was so cute, and we will get into that in a minute. But I was 24 hours before, so 48 hours ago. 48 hours ago, I was sitting here 42 hours ago. 48. I was sitting 48 hours ago. I was sitting here weeping my eyes out whilst that man was in the shower, got out. He was like, what are you doing in here? Because it's like 2 separate rooms. He was like, dude, what the fuck? And like, he knows it's gonna be a hard conversation when I'm in the bathtub. I love the bathtub. The bathtub is like where I do all my thinking. Sorry. The bathtub is where I do all my thinking. It's where I process all my thoughts. It literally just, I think the safest place for me, so he knows that like if I'm sitting in the bathtub without any water, like clothes on, just like how I am right now, there is a conversation to be had, and he just kind of sits down, balls out. He just sits down in the bathtub with me, and he's like the big friendly giant. He's just huge. Huge. He's so big and so loving and so caring, and he's like, what's wrong? Are we gonna break up? What's up? It's our anniversary tomorrow. What's happening? And I kind of didn't know how to say it, but I just started like laughing and crying and splitting, and it was just like, I have been, to be honest, that whole day, so I only saw him that evening, yeah, roughly around like 8 p.m, because that entire day he was shearing, meaning that it's an entire process. And this, I guess this will be a whole episode, this episode will be about me and my brain and how lonely it feels to be in a healthy relationship, because I've been putting it off for so long. But I have my notes, so I feel like this is going to be fun. They are so annoying. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to blare the background. I picked the wrong day to do this. I kind of looked at him and I broke down, and he was like, what's wrong? And I just it broke my heart to look at him and say, this is not how I thought it would be. And he was like, what? Especially this being like my first ever relationship, and actually being the first committed relationship where I'm not like seeing other people or cheating on them, or same thing, Gab, just, you know, like young love, like even just using them, because like I've done that to so many people. Like this is pure and genuine, and I am actually like a good Samaritan. I am a good patriotic human being. I'm good intentions. And I kind of looked at him and I said, this is not what I thought it would be, because he's had relationships before. He's never really had an anniversary, but it was just like, this is his first as well. And I think it was the fact that I spent all day alone. I spent all day alone with my thoughts. And when you are dating a farmer, you do have to be very independent, because I can only see him on the weekends. You know, I lived here, I would only be seeing him in the evenings. But even then, it's like Monday to Friday, work. Sometimes, most of the time, Saturdays and Sundays, he's also working. It is a constant flow of work. And I said to him, like, you prioritize work, and that really pisses me off, because I'm not used to it, and I kind of want your undivided attention. And when he does give it to me, it is undivided, and he prioritizes me like fully. But I think I am just like an attention whore, and I'm just like, I want to love you all the time. And I think if you are not an independent person, you can't date a farmer. Because what did I do yesterday? I woke up, I edited, I did that for a couple hours, because like that's like a lot. Then I literally spent the entire day sitting outside, tanning and drawing and reading. And I know that sounds like an amazing day, but that's like a Saturday. That Saturday is my Saturday. That Saturday should be me spending time with him, but it's not. So out of this entire week that I'm here now, only yesterday was the only day I really got to spend time with him. And then the entire week goes by again, like Monday today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday we have a wedding. So as much as I will be with him, I won't be alone with him. And then I go away again. So in reality, to a lot of people that doesn't make sense, because you're like, but you're seeing him in the evenings. I don't know how to explain it, but with me and time is so precious to me, because you never know what could happen. But an entire day, you just get to do whatever and see them constantly, or just see them the entire day on your own and have their undivided attention and have them prioritize you. It's a lovely feeling, but you don't get that a lot, especially when every other day he's working. And even if I do see him in the evenings, it's like very chill, because, well, he's exhausted. He's been like running around with like 400 sheep. So, you know, you don't really want to have like deep conversations. You don't really want to do anything too extravagant. You don't really want to go out for dinner. You just, as much as I do, he doesn't. And even though he would, that's the thing, he would go do these things. But I, as a girlfriend, also have to acknowledge that he's worked all day. Like if I worked a whole like 12-hour shift at my job, I would not want to go out that day. I would not. I would want to sit in my garden and get drunk. And as much as like that's great, I don't drink anymore. Anyway, what was my point? So I kind of felt really guilty, because I said, This is not how I thought it would be. And I think from a very young age, you kind of prioritize this very Disney form of love. You have it ingrained in your brain that it's going to be fireworks and bouquets and going out for cool dinners, and you know, he books an Uber Black, and it's like, as much as he would do those things, he doesn't say no to me, as you should. I'm sorry, as you should. You should not say no to me, and he doesn't. He never says no to me. But it's one of those things where if I asked him to go to a vintage cinema, if I asked him to go antiquing, if I asked him to go to an F1 race, if I asked him to go to a concert, he would say yes. He would be like, yeah, and I would make time. If he could make time, he would. So when it came to our actual anniversary, I was like, there's nothing that we haven't not done. And as like normal relationships, like you put off those kind of adventures. Like you kind of put it off and you're like, let's save that for let's go to this vintage cinema when it's something special, like when we've achieved something, or like, let's go to this restaurant and try this restaurant out when we've actually hit a milestone or something like that. But for us, it's because time is so limited. He just doesn't say. So when it came to planning our anniversary, I know I spoke about this, he was going to book a cabin, and then I said, you're a fucking idiot because you're like, what the fuck, you already live in like the most beautiful place on the earth. So I know I've been saying for a really long time recently that I wanted to go to the beach. So we went to Whitby instead. And it was lovely, and I got to see all the boats, and I got to walk around, and we got pastries, and I got like massive Yorkshire scones. Like they're huge, like they're the size of like my head. They're cheese scones, and they were only like 2 scones on a block of cheese, and that was, I think $5.79. And also there was this cunt, right? I will say this. So right at the end of the day, they sell out all their, pastries and stuff. This cunt, there was 2 cunts working, right? Number one was a legend, but he was like, honestly, you have to give me time because I have ADHD. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. All of us probably do. Like, calm down. It's not a personality trait. Okay, not a personality trait. So he's like doing everything, and he's giving everyone discounts. Like it's already like £1.50 a pastry, but he was just like, I don't care, I'll give you 5 for a 50p. And I was like, legend. Then the next guy comes out and he's just like, okay, so for 2 pastries and a nice coffee, that would be 11 quid. And it's like, why is he like? We kind of looked at him and we were like, he was like, is that okay? Is that wrong? Did I miss something? And the guy looks at him and he was like, and the other guy just looks at him and he's, dude, like he was like, it's closing. And he's like, yeah. And the blonde guy, literally just like the ADHD guy, he just took over and he's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, like, I mean, like, he's not wrong, but it would be nice. And he was like, yeah, you're a sweet guy. You go, king. You go. But it was the fact that like this man looked dead in the face and was like, I know we're closing, but this isn't on offer. And it's like, you're going to throw these in the bin. Fuck off. So yeah, we went to Whitby and we sat on the beach and we ate squid. I think the vlog would be up already, so I don't know, by the time I post this episode I think the vlog would be up on YouTube already, or it's coming out. I don't know, just go follow my YouTube daddy. We had an amazing day and it was lovely, and we ate calamari and we walked by the beach and we just roamed and it was nice. And I love asking him, like, as I said, he's a very like non-verbal person, but he's a very like touchy-feely person. So like, what's your love languages? Yeah, I would really like to know. I don't know, baby girl. I think I would say physical touch. If you would like, I can give you a back rub. That's not what physical touch means. Yeah, it is. No. I've had enough bitches in my life. I know what it means. I just love asking him like, why do you love me? Why do you love me? What do you love about me? What do you love about me? Tell me. And he never knows. He's always like on the spot. Like he never knows what to say, but I know what he's trying to say. And he just always responds with like, you're weird. You're so weird. And I don't know why you're weird. And I love you because you're weird. And you're just, I don't know when it pisses me off that you're weird, but in a good way. And I just don't want you to ever leave. And it's just like, it's nice to hear those things. But that's what I mean. I was sitting in this bathtub. Let's go back. So I was sitting in this bathtub crying my eyes out, and it was because I spent the entire day alone. And whilst I was doing it, I did, I didn't really have my journal with me. I haven't been able to do my morning pages, but I did spend the entire day drawing. So I did note some stuff down, and this is what I feel. I think this is kind of what set me off. You're gonna have to give me time because my writing is a bit shite. Remember when you were a kid? Like, did your parents also beat you when you didn't write your birthday cards properly? When you had to like sit down in the kitchen table in like Soviet Russia and like write your like handwrite everyone's like birthday cards or like birthday invites, and they would beat you when you haven't done it right, but it looks like a 50-year-old woman has wrote these cards and they're like stunning. She's like, I thought this was gonna I am a little neighbor, dart and spout. Eat me up and shit me out. Anyway, let's go on. This is why I crashed the fuck out, crying my eyes out, nearly like pulling out all my hair. I wish I wrote better. This is really, really hard. It's lonely being in a healthy relationship. You're forced to spend time with yourself. And as much as I love my alone time, it gets to a point where missing them is more than just a feeling. I don't think any amount of self-love will fill the void of emotions that romantic or platonic love has, or at least provides for you. The healthy relationship is silent. It's unconditionally loving and understanding. You don't have to lie, it just works. And especially when they work hard, you understand. The texts get responded to, but after a period of time. They prioritize themselves independently, but prioritize you together, anonymously. But in between day to day, the silence goes on because there's a deep understanding that you know that they're there, you know that they care, you know they love you, so you don't have to constantly be there. But day to day, it's lonely. When every other sector is fixed, home, work, hobbies, mind, sometimes all you long for is the attention of another. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's human to feel lonely. Lonely is healthy. Sometimes I feel closer when the tension is up, when the up and downs, the fights, when the anxiety fills the void. But do I want to spend such a short life, my life, in fight or flight? No. So I settle on healthy love, long love, understanding love, and force myself to heal from the past. But do I really want this, or is this just an act? I think there's so many conversations to be had with just that paragraph, because it is true. I think being in a healthy relationship, you do realize that you are the problem. And I think I've spoken about this multiple times before, but forcing yourself to be in an unhealthy relationship is because your nervous system doesn't know how to be loved unless there's chaos, unless there's fights. But then sometimes I think those fights bring you close together. Like, we argue, but only about humanitarian issues, politics. We debate each other on like what's better, what's worse, our opinions about films and stuff, and that's lovely. And I think there's such a beauty to that tension and that fire and that passion that gets like thrown across the room. But when it comes to nagging each other, annoying each other, having it be toxic in a way, I don't know, I just can't. I don't feel the need for it. I don't see the need for it. I just kind of go, if I'm feeling insecure, I will just tell you. If you've done something to upset me, I will just tell you. And the way that you handle that situation is how you handle it, and we will move on from there. But overall, I don't feel the need to start an argument just because I miss you. I know that is a very common thing, but if I miss you, I don't want to announce my love through tears, and I don't want to set myself off and then sit there with anxiety the entire day, you know? So being in a healthy relationship is really lonely, especially when there's nothing holding you back. If I said I'm gonna go do world packers for a month and work on a boat in Croatia, I might not have any signal. He will know that the moment I do, he would be flooded with messages and phone calls, and he would say, yeah, do it and support me fully. But I think in a unhealthy relationship, that person, you know, would have anxious attachment styles or just even anxiety leaving that person. And I think that kind of is what stops you from having a life, and I think that's so stupid. And this is what I mean, it's lonely because you have no one like holding you back and being like, no, you can't go, you can't do this, you can't do that. But then you realize that because you have someone in your corner rooting for you the whole time, you can do anything and you feel on top of the world. You feel like Superman. But it gets to a point where even Superman feels lonely, because as much as that person's in their corner, hearing a voice from the other side of the room is not the same as that person being there with you. And I think, honestly, also, there was a moment that I never thought I would have this type of relationship. Growing up with the father that I did, or being put in situations as a kid that just wasn't healthy with men, I abstained from them, and as much as I did like have a hoe phase, not even a hoe phase, but like it's true, like I fucked around. I fucked around so many people. I did threesomes. I desperately wanted to do gangbangs. Like it was like I put myself into these positions where it wasn't healthy for me, and not because like I was unhealed and I wanted to have sex and I wanted to use it as self-harm. True, yes, 100%, because I couldn't self-harm anymore, so I would do it through people. But still, it would be more the fact that I would just like keep these people at arm's length because like I just didn't value them and they didn't value me, and I know they didn't value me. They only saw me as a trophy to have. So why would I want to give them my love? And I am such a pure, loving human being. I'm a deep soul. I know I was saying actually to Will yesterday, I was like, recently I've been putting out more meaningful and vulnerable content on my platforms, and that's lovely. And it's a massive step for me because I am such a closed off person. But that's why I've stopped going to events. That's why I've stopped going to meet and greets, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like I know I will see someone that follows me, I will see people that follow me, and I think as much as I put myself online and I'm a very open person, like my entire life is online, right? It gets to a point where when you've put out certain videos and you're like, like right now I'm putting out I was meant to be dead, and so many people have asked me like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And it's like such innocent girls that don't know what that means, and they don't struggle with mental health and all that side of mental health and the whole like a personality disorder. They don't have that and they won't have that, and I don't want to, and this is why I haven't told anyone, or at least acknowledge that is the sector that I'm in, because I don't want anyone to be like, yeah, but I'm like her, so maybe I have it as well. And it's like, no, it's not that easy. Like there are so many things that have happened in my life to be the person I am, and I also feel immense guilt all the time, and that's also why I was crying in this bathtub. I feel immense guilt all the fucking time. I feel I don't deserve to be here. I feel, and I don't mean it in like suicide guilt, I mean I'm so cut off from my emotions, my deep emotions and my soul, that I feel like a ghost, and because of that, I don't care about things. So I don't really care about anything. When it comes to things, if something like breaks or I do something like before, if I broke a nail, I would go crazy, and I left my house once and I realized that my shoe was like split, like my Converse was like broken under, and I was like 5 minutes away from my house. I literally went back home the moment I closed the door and no one else was home. I went upstairs and like just went at it, and it was just like, why did I do that? What the fuck is wrong with me? Like I was like 14 and I was just like, my life is over. Everything hates me. The world hates me. I bullied myself to the point where I locked myself in my room for like 2 days straight. It's not fun. Whereas now I was literally coming to Will's with 3 suitcases 5 minutes away from my house. I broke a brand new acrylic. My baby pink, like my pinky was bleeding, and I was just like, for fuck's sake, oh well, let's go. And I've got to a point where I've not healed, but I have this like, I have coping mechanisms and I have understanding of myself and my insecurities and everything to do with that. And it's like I'm a good place. I'm at a good place in my adult life. And I know there will be moments in my life that stuff will happen where it's like breakups or friendships or people passing and grief, and I know I will spiral again and I will split on these people. And I know it's gonna come soon, or at least in the next couple years. But I think I've done so well becoming the person that I am. I want to be able to publicly say it as well, because this account is my diary, and I'm grateful that I have a following that allows me to have these opportunities and have this platform to talk about stuff, even if it isn't, even if in the last couple months I've been off these platforms as much as I post. If you didn't know, as much as I post, I don't scroll, I don't text, I don't use these platforms because they are so toxic to my brain and they make me feel shriveled, like a shriveled human being. But it's been so nice and I'm so grateful to have these platforms. But I always feel this immense amount of grief. And it's not suicidal grief, it's not grief for living, it's mostly just grief for being okay. And I don't know if anyone else deals with that. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, people used to make fun of me and they're like, oh, so you're an empath, you just feel everything, you feel no, I don't feel anything. There's moments that I don't feel sympathy, I don't feel empathy, I'm lying to you and I don't know that I'm lying to you, and that's what I mean. I get into my own head. It's like my friend could look at me and I could be in a moment where it's like an episode and I won't even know. I hope you all know I recorded an entire hour of this this whole video. And I didn't realize that my mother called me 7 times and it turned off the fucking video. So now I have to re-record the whole thing. I'm still talking. I hate my mother and I don't know why. Will I ever go back to therapy to realize that? No. Is it because I know that she has pure intentions and I am just a raging fucking bitch because she doesn't set boundaries or she doesn't understand my boundaries? But you know what? Fuck you. Anyway, what was I saying? You get the bad quality now because fuck you. I'm angry, I don't remember. I literally finished the entire episode and now I don't know what to talk about. Let's see if I can remember. I'm also gonna eat my mac and cheese. This is the best fucking mac and cheese I've ever had in my entire life. There's this place in Sheffield called The Unit, and it's like a brand new place that's opened up. But like, to make a good mac and cheese, right, it needs to be like crispy. It needs to be a bit like paprika-y. It needs to be crunchy, but it can't be like too cheesy. It can't be like creamy. It can't be like Alfredo. That does not make a good mac and cheese. Looks like that. Like it's creamy, but the cream's inside the pasta. It's not on top. It's not too cheesy. It's just, and it's good enough to eat cold. Because fuck me. Last clip I was talking about grief and I could be completely wrong, but like I know that I'm putting these videos out online and there will be moments where someone will pass, I will feel grief, or I won't get a brand deal, or I won't do this and I won't do that, and I will have to spiral, or I will spiral, not like I have to, but I will. And you know, I'm able to live my life and calm myself down and understand my brain and understand how it works. There are sheep outside and there's my boyfriend screaming in the other room. I don't know. I know there will be a moment that I disappear. I know there will be a moment that I will hurt myself again. I know that there will be a moment that I just will show signs of the things that I have to deal with because of my childhood, and it's just, it will move on, whatever the fuck. Okay, what I want to end the episode on, my favourite things about Will. 3 favourite things about Will. Do I even care? No, he's not even that cute. Like, yeah, fuck that shit. Actually, funny enough, I made a whole little dinner for us. This is actually really funny. Actually, it's not even funny. I crashed the fuck out. I was really fucking angry. You do not understand. Also, if you're going out, right? Because I don't like sweet treats. I'm not a sweet treat type of girl. Like, I am a sweet treat, like a pastry, but I'm not like a, let's go get a whole chocolate cake, right? If I'm sitting in the car, he comes in, he grabs our milkshakes from yesterday, right? I don't like milkshakes, not really my thing, but I was like, I'm gonna get a cookie dough Oreo one because it's like the Oreo McFlurry. Fine, great. This man pulls out fucking pistachio. And the night before that, because we're fat cunts, salted caramel. Breaking up. We are breaking up. What do you mean? What do you mean? You got yourself a milkshake that you know I would not drink? Fucking fat cunt. You are a fat fucking bitch. Okay, fuck you. That's betrayal right there. I don't care. That is betrayal right there. So, I don't know. I just love him. I love that he doesn't say no to me. I love how he looks. I love the way that he acts. I love the way that he feels. That's one. He feels like home that I never knew I had. He's so caring, and I don't mean in the bare minimum sense. I mean in the sense of, he's not at the point where he will just understand how I'm feeling by the way I act, but he understands by my tone of voice. He understands me from a look in my eye. And then when it comes to him, just him as a person, he's so stubborn, but it's not in the sense of, like, it used to be in the sense of like, you know, I'm not changing my mind, but it's in the sense of, you know, if I can only have brown bread, he will go out his way to get brown bread, and I'm like, no, it's fine. And I can say like, no, it's fine, we don't have to. No, like, what's the point of adding like 10 minutes to our trip? I'm not even gonna eat it. And he is like the type of person to be like, yeah, but what if you want it in the future? You may not want it now, but what if you want it in the future? What if you do need it? What if this is all you can eat and everyone else has brought stuff that you can't? Like, it really much is like, he's stubborn and he will not listen to me. Even if I'm like, no, I have like I would just eat the other one. And I'm like, it's fine. He'll be like, fuck off. No. He's very stubborn, and if he decides to do something, he will decide to do it, and there will be no way around it. Like, there is no stopping that car being like, it's fine, we can leave it. Like, no. I love that about him. And it's also the sense that he tries in every single aspect, and even if it's not the best. He's tried so much in the last year to love someone like me and love someone with my brain. And it's really hard to love someone with my brain. I've been conditioned to believe that you can't love someone with my brain, and what's happening up there and what's happened in the past. I've done so well to forget my past or even learn certain like tactics to heal from my past. And I'm so grateful for the people in my life, and I'm so proud of myself for the journey that I've been, on, and the person I've become. But when it comes to, I don't want to say, oh, I'm so glad someone can put up with me, because no, if you want to be with me, you're gonna be with me, and you're gonna have to deal with this. And this isn't, the bare minimum isn't like, oh, I'm dealing with you. You don't deal with someone that you love. You acknowledge and love and care for the person that you love. But I mean it in the sense of, he's took time to take extra care and caution dealing with me and dealing with my brain and dealing with the other person in my brain and my other personalities and just all these different things. Andy, you've got enough personalities to keep me completely occupied. I love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I might watch it later whilst I bake. I've also been on a baking kick. That's really fun, but carry on. I love him. I've never loved anyone the way that I love him. I've never loved anyone purely the way that I've loved him. I've never wanted to be with someone long enough the way that I've wanted to spend time with Will for a very long time. And sometimes I cry. I love him so much, and I think every version of myself loves him. I think every personality in my brain loves him. Every version of myself, if that's either the manic or depressed or girly or hating men or the asexual person, just every single version of me, the trauma fight or flight response version of me loves him and feels safe with him. And that really says something when you have been you've been in the ins and outs of men's hands, and or just people saying mean things and people not understanding you and not acknowledging that you could be thinking a different way. I think it's such a beautiful thing to be with someone that wants to know you and wants to learn, and it's the trying to learn that makes you feel so whole. And I love that in every single sense. So I think I'm gonna end the video, but I had a girl comment and she was like, I'm sorry babe, I did forget your name, but she was like, I want you to give us things to do every week. So if you are doing your morning pages, this can be like an extension of your morning pages. So here are like 3 questions to ask yourself or to think about this week. You can pick one or pick multiple, I don't care. This is things to think about when you're driving, when you're doing your laundry, in the shower, or just things, but you have to do it in silence. If you're having a shower, then you have to do it in silence. If you're on the train, you have to do it in silence. You have to just like type these out, write these out, I don't care. Why do you love yourself? If you were a big sister and you were looking at yourself in third person, and you were looking at yourself at this age now, why do you love yourself? And an extension to that question too, why did you love yourself as a child? And I don't mean like, I know we all had insecurities and we all hated ourselves as kids, but whatever. What were certain things that you love about yourself now, or what were certain things that you love about yourself then? Like, I loved back then that I was a loudmouth and I was always so stubborn. I would always defend everyone, and if you pissed me off, I would throw a speaker at your head. Like, I was so aggressive, and as much as that was like, I was like a troubled child for so many people. To me, I was so proud of that, and if I looked at myself in third person and looked at that like 8-year-old version of me, I would be so proud of her. And now at the age of 21, I love how soft I am and how caring I am and how slow I am. And actually recently I had a girl ask me like, did I like Italy? Like, we were just talking and I told her like I moved there and all these different things. But I think I had a realization that I loved Italy, but it wasn't the lifestyle for me at the age that I was there. If I moved there now, it would be the perfect life. It would be such slow living and cooking from scratch and baking from scratch and buying new ingredients every single day. Like, it's very much like the way of life that I want to live now. But me at 18, it was such a dead city that I feel like I should have moved to like New York or Melbourne or whatever, Paris. But yeah, that was a realization I had. And question 3 would be, if you could spend a day, if it's an anniversary, friend's anniversary, friendiversary, a day with someone that you love, like your own anniversary, whatever, and you've been together with that person for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, what would you do? And I want to know that. So DM me, tell me, I don't care, comment. It would be lovely to hear. If you could do anything, what would you do? Would you spend it? And you don't have to think about the other person. It would be nice to think about the other person, but you wouldn't have to actually think like that person doesn't like painting, so we wouldn't paint. If you as a person could do anything, what would you do? If I celebrated 10 years with Will, what I would want to do with him is wake up in the morning, go for a bakery run on our anniversary, pick up flowers, fresh flowers, and then spend the day looking through my trinket box of collectibles, pictures, receipts, photo booth pictures. And I think I want to look through the entire collection of things I've collected over the years and frame them. Maybe make 3 big frames, 1 big frame, 3 mini ones, who cares? And I think that is how I would want to spend our anniversary. And then maybe go out for dinner that evening and get our favourite food and just be fat. Or, because if we are in the summer, I would love to watch the sunset, just a fire pit. That would be lovely. But the thing is, if I asked him to do that, he would do that now. And that is why I love him. And I love him in every single sense. So yeah, me being a sappy cunt, I'm gonna shut up now. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next episode. I'm sorry that it cut off, and I'm sorry that if I did speak about something and you guys don't know what I spoke about because it cut off, and I'm missing this. If this feels like a really short podcast episode, I'm really sorry, guys. But I love yous, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna bake some cookies. Bye.